Hello and welcome to L2R. I'm Kinaesthesia and today I'll be going over the strategy for Magmaw on the 25 normal difficulty. This lovable little guy will worm his way into your heart and his lava parasite companions will worm their way into your skin. He may look like he's enjoying himself in that bath of hot lava when you find him, but our guide will show your raid how to really turn up the heat. This encounter isn't too difficult and won't stress your play skills or your raid makeup. Bring 2 tanks, 7 healers, and a balanced DPS makeup. If you feel like DPS may be somewhat of a problem, lean heavier to ranged AoE. Classes that have AoE slows such as Frost Trap or Ring of Frost can be helpful, but may not be entirely necessary for your particular raid. Magmaw has 101 million HP, but throughout the fight, your raid will gain a 100% increased damage buff on him. It should be noted that this video is actually a recording of a hard mode kill, and there are certain abilities such as the meteor and the large adds that will not be present in normal mode. Simply disregard these, and make sure to check out our hard mode tutorial coming soon if you want more information on how to take this boss down on the difficulty you see here. Magmaw has a few abilities that each person in the raid needs to be concerned with. Most abilities only apply to a few roles. His primary attack is Magma Spit. This is an ability that hits a few targets for around 45k fire damage. This will occur every few seconds and should be healed normally. In addition to this, he will use a large AoE called Lava Spew. This will deal 34,000 fire damage to all players every second for 3 seconds. This ability deals around 100,000 damage total before resist. Resistance auras or totems, barriers or aura masteries are good ways to lower the damage from this ability. It's best to stack the raid up in order to heal through Lava Spew more effectively. Pillar of Flame will appear as a boiling red void zone on the ground. After a few seconds, it will explode for massive damage to any player standing on it. These players will be knocked in the air and take additional fall damage. Multiple lava parasites will spawn from the area after a Pillar of Flame has erupted. These adds will cause any player they melee to gain the parasitic infection debuff. This causes the player to take around 13,000 damage every 2 seconds, and after 10 seconds, the player will automatically use Infectious Vomit. The Vomit deals around 40,000 damage to any players it hits and creates more lava parasites. It's a vicious cycle. Because of this, the lava parasite should not melee any player. There are 2 ways to deal with these adds, which I will cover in the strategy section of the guide. Throughout the fight, he will use Ignition. This will cause the ground to ignite and deal around 24,000 fire damage to any players caught in the area. Ignition will cover about half the room, but can simply be moved out of before it erupts. Magmaw will mangle your main tank, dealing 110,000 damage every 5 seconds for 30 seconds. Because this ability completely wipes the tank's threat, it's necessary to have a second tank taunt the boss while the first is being ate. Throughout the fight, Magmaw will occasionally slump forward and allow players to jump on his head and use the constricting chains to encase him. When this has been done successfully, the boss will be impaled on a spike and take double damage until he gets back up. If nobody is in range for the boss to melee, he will go into a frenzy using Molten Tantrum. This increases his fire damage dealt by 100% and stacks up to 10 times. Begin the fight by having a tank engage Magmaw from the far side of the room. Range should be in a single stack on either the left or right side of the room, and melee should stack in melee range on the opposite side of where the tank pulled. The raid heals through Magma Spit and Lava Spew and only moves when Pillar of Flame comes out. When this ability happens, there are 2 basic options. The first is to have the range stack run to the opposite side of the room and AoE down all of the lava parasites before they reach the raid. If you decide to use this strategy, make sure to place an AoE snare or slow at the parasite spawn point to increase the time it takes for them to reach the raid. It's important that your raid have enough DPS to successfully pull this strat off, but it should not be too difficult. This will become quite routine throughout the fight and should be simple to remember and execute the stack, run across, AoE, stack, run across, AoE pattern. An alternative strat, and the one you will see in this video, is to have a tank kite the lava parasites around during the encounter. We use a Death Knight here, who grabs all the adds using Death and Decay, then kites them in circles around the room, keeping them snared along the way. This will allow your ranged DPS to focus more on the boss and get him down quicker. Before each mangle, the off tank can taunt off the main tank to absorb the mangle debuff and allow the main tank to continue tanking the boss. It is a good idea to put a cooldown such as Guardian Spirit or Pain Suppression on the off tank before he or she becomes mangled. Make sure that at least 2 healers are assigned to spam the off tank while Magmaw chews on him. It is not necessary to assign players to use the chains that bring down the boss, but it can help expedite the process. Simply have the first 2 players to get onto his back use the chains ability and bring him down. Once Magmaw is impaled on the spike, he ceases to be very dangerous at all. DPS should use cooldowns and trinkets to maximize the damage they'll do, since he will take double damage during the down phase. Healers can take this time to regen mana or help out by adding additional DPS. Once the impale has ended, Magmaw will wipe all threat and lift himself back up. Make sure to have melee run out of melee range before this happens, so they are not one-shot when the boss gets up. The fight will repeat like this until the boss dies and is a good introductory level encounter. The fight does not require exceptional DPS and is instead a bit more about execution and ad management. Keeping this in mind, your raid will most likely not have much trouble taking Magmaw down. Thanks for checking us out here at Learn to Raid. We hope this strategy guide was helpful, and we'll see you at the next boss.
I wasn't feeling so good. I just didn't feel like playing anymore. So I went home, and I got all comfy and cozy and all scrunched up in front of my phonograph. And I sat there and I